Continuing the trend of super violent adult films bizarrely translated into a gaming system aimed mostly at preteens, Darkman the game manages to follow the plot, style, and tone of Sam Raimi's bizarre 1990s superhero film pretty well. I'm impressed, honestly, especially having recently reviewed hot garbage like Cliffhanger, which barely resembles its source material. I mean, as soon as you turn the game on, you go, holy shit, they actually made a game out of Darkman. Look at this! Aside from the visuals, there's several sections in the game where you photograph your enemies in order to fabricate their skin and go undercover as them. That's a huge part of the film, and it's pretty crazy that they made the extra effort to include it here. Rambo fights snakes, the Nightmare on Elm Street kids fight snakes, Darkman fights and impersonates a bad guy with one leg who moves by hopping. Amazing! Darkman has some of the most impressive graphics on the NES. The select screen at the beginning where you choose using a grotesque bandaged hand is one of the best mini-screens on the entire system, and the animation alone is better than 90% of the games in the NES library. Likewise, the Game Over screen, which features a giant close-up of Liam Neeson's face crying tadpole tears, is just unbelievable. There's even some faux minecart levels that, while not Bucky O'Hare or Battletoads speed, are still extremely quick-paced. Just watch some footage from this game and then play something like Mappy Land, and find yourself in disbelief about how these games exist on the same system. Like this helicopter stage ripped straight out of the movie? How awesome does this look? Check out Darkman, scooping up all the Bitcoin before Elon Musk gets to it. Topical jokes, I got 'em! On top of that, the music is multi-layered, varied, and super catchy. I mean, you're not going to see a cover band do an all Darkman set or anything, but for sure, this is solid soundtrack work here. There's just one issue with Darkman, and it's the problem that plagues so many games throughout the ages. Controls. You spend all this time making a game that looks and sounds like a Super Nintendo title, but when it came to making the game play well, they must have gotten sleepy and taken a nap. You'll spend an hour navigating the first level because your character responds to you the same way your drunk friend does when you're trying to get him into a lift. Darkman suffers from a common problem in bad platformers, something I call hot butter feet, where you've got extra momentum from running that you can't control, meaning that you'll be sliding right off every edge you come upon. It's kinda hard to explain, but basically you need to train your mind to press jump a split second earlier than you would in, say, Super Mario Bros. Also, Darkman has the rock, paper, scissors style of combat when you're fighting enemies. As soon as you get close enough to punch someone, there's a completely random chance of whether you'll hit them or they'll hit you. I've attempted that first level 100 times and tried the same approach every time. Mash punch as fast as possible. Sometimes I knock the guy out with 4 straight whammers. Sometimes we go 50-50. Sometimes he hits me repeatedly till I die. While this is for sure a common component of bad game design in the early action titles, here it's made all the more frustrating because these enemies only appear near ledges, which means that if you are unlucky, and you will be, the bad guys will for sure send you flailing pathetically into a nearby pit, over and over and over again. There's a cool cheat where if you highlight the high score option and then press right and A, you get to a password screen where the word Derma will unlock a level select. It won't actually make the game any easier since Darkman just gets exponentially harder as it goes, but at least you'll get to see what you're missing. The girders are another minecart, but you're completely blind on which route to take, and even when you do know where you're going, the directional inputs never fail to stop working right when you need them. The funhouse stages may be some of the worst level designs I've ever seen. These springs send you uncontrollably flying to your death, enemies come out of nowhere, it's entirely unclear what you can and can't jump on, and even areas you can land on randomly sublimate from solid to air. I've seen some messy and unfair layouts before, but this is king shit right here. So yeah, overall it's a mixed bag full of great graphics, innovative ideas, a rocking soundtrack, terrible controls, cheap deaths, and constant frustration. However, if you're a fan of Sam Raimi, or you just want to play an NES game that's way more interesting than it should be, give Darkman a try. I'd say you won't be disappointed, but you will. And you also won't? The exact state of the game cannot be ascertained completely. It both is and isn't great. Darkman is like the Schrodinger's cat of 8-bit games.